help you? Name an appointment. Confirmed. Ularu is wrapping up a meeting with Genevieve. You can wait here or in the lobby area. I'll let you know when she's ready to see you. I see Imogene Salso is supposed to be with you.
I'm right here, Maeve.
Good. It should just be a moment. Well, sooner than I thought. Looks like Ularu's ready now.
Is that always your response? I don't want another PR mess on my hands.
Yes, Viv, because you're too good at your job. No, we can talk details later. My next appointment's here.
Fine, but you can break this news to Alexis at our next meeting.
Don't cause any trouble.
Good. You're finally here. The one I've been hearing so much about. I'm Ularu Chen, head of operations here at Ryujin. So tell me, what do you think of your new job so far? And that's an answer. Not the best, but certainly not the worst. At least I can assume you're not out to tell me what I want to hear, which is somewhat refreshing. Now, my dear Jeannie here says you've been through the basics of what we do and pulled off success every time.
5 successful standard assignments and 1 specialized.
Oh, a few incidents here and there, but nothing we can't handle. Right? I happen to have a personal assignment that I'd like to send you on. One that involves meeting up with an outside contact. Jeannie seems to think you're more than capable of handling it.
She's the best operative I've ever hired.
Let's not forget the only operative you've ever hired. Meeting with outside contacts isn't always as straightforward as your past assignments. Some can be fickle or demanding, so you'll need to decide how to handle them and what decisions to make on the fly. Good. Because if not, I can't imagine we have much use for you here at Ryujin. Your contact is Simon Rychek. He claims to have information on a new project that Infinity Ltd is working on. He said it's a game changer that Ryujin would be especially interested in, so his asking price is the big thing to consider. Finance will reimburse up to 1,000 credits, so if you have negotiation skills, use them. Simon's been working with us for years, so he'll pose no threat to you. He's paranoid, which is why I assume he's never been caught. But his information is typically worth it. Now, in order to confirm your identity, Simon prefers code phrases. I'll let Jeannie give you the details on this one because the concept is just beneath me.
Simon is into sports, so he enjoys any opportunity to talk about them. At some point, he'll casually say, "Looks like the Galactic Raiders are the #1 pick for the Universal Championship this year." You get to respond with, "Razor Derby is the only real sport." Got it? According to Simon Rychek, it's the only real sport in the galaxy. But if you want a lesson in sports, just ask him. Movies are more my thing when it comes to entertainment. They're a batball team that sucks. They have about as much chance of winning the Universal Championship as Aurora does of going legal outside of Neon. Simon despises batball, though, which is why he crafted that response you give in return. You'll find him in Sidonia, so I hope your ship's fueled. Just look for him above the Lux condos in the plaza.
You spoke very highly of this one, Jeannie. Let's hope she doesn't make a liar out of you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some things to take care of.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
I've got my eye on you.
Well, that wasn't too bad for your introduction. What do you think of Ularu? Good call. Let me know if you have any questions regarding your assignment. And enjoy your time in Sidonia. It's certainly no Neon. For you? No. Only Ularu calls me that, and it's not up for negotiation. Only that it's vastly different than Neon. There's not glitz and glam where Sidonia is concerned. And don't worry about it being in UC territory. Simon's smart, so any physical information he may hand off to you won't set off any alarms. Just make sure your ship is clean before reaching Mars orbit. Remember, Aurora is illegal there, so if you have any on you, it needs to stay here. I worked with Simon a lot in my time as a field op. He's a perpetually grumpy man, but I think he just likes to keep his distance. Getting close to people isn't a luxury he can afford in his line of work, much like ours.
Me? You want to talk to me?
Sidonia, what a dump. You lost? Or just come to ask an out-of-work miner how his day's going? Yeah. I just wish Sidonia had a bit more to offer while I'm trying to enjoy my unemployment. Not much in the way of entertainment around here. Speaking of, looks like the Galactic Raiders are the #1 pick for the Universal Championship this year. You're damn right it is. I heard they were sending someone new. Nice to see you made it. I have information on a deal being proposed between Infinity Ltd and Deimos Stockyards. It's my belief that your employers would be highly interested in the details. So I'm upping my price. It's steep, yes, but that is why I'm also offering a little side job if you can't pay up. Glad you see reason. As you may guess, being an informant is not without its risks. I've heard there's a merc in Saturn's orbit who'd like to cross my name off her list. Milai Liskova. If you take her out and bring me her gun as proof, I'll consider my fee to be waived. Liskova has a sentimental attachment to that gun. He even named it Ember. She'd never just hand it over. It saved her life once or twice. Seems whenever it falls into enemy hands, it has a tendency to backfire or jam. On top of that, she's superstitious, which makes the gun all the more precious to her. She's a freelance mercenary, used to work for Inception Technologies. But she likes her independence, so she went into business for herself. She specializes in killing for the right price. So before you get any second thoughts, you should think of it as doing the settled systems a favor. You're doing me a tremendous favor. Just know she won't go down easily, so be prepared. Malai's ship is called the Datura, and like I said, you can find her in orbit around Saturn. Just remember to bring the gun back as proof.
That's far enough. State your business or I open fire. That's more like it. So, tell me what you're doing here. I'll decide whether or not to strip you for salvage. I'm looking for a lot of people, and none of them are any business of yours. Oh yeah? From what? You're the only thing around here that looks like a threat to me. So, give me one good reason why I shouldn't feed you to the void. If you think I'm answering any questions, think again. Simon will never stop. The man will hold a grudge until his dying breath. What are you, a therapist? It's none of your business. I admit, it'd be nice to be able to relax a bit. Yeah, right. You know I'd never... Oh. I get it. All right. You can have Ember. But you'll have to come aboard to get her. You have my word you won't be harmed, for whatever that's worth.
I'm impressed Simon managed to find someone with guts to come after me. I suppose it shouldn't surprise me that he wants Ember as proof of this. He knows I'd never part with her. We were a thing for a while, until the coward sold me out. I'm sure he regrets it, considering I survived the attempt on my life. And now, I live to blackmail him and make his life a living hell. So if Simon told you I wanted him dead, it's a lie. I want him very much alive and suffering. The first time Ember and I met, she was pointed right at me. And then backfired on the gloating bastard who thought he'd won. She's saved my life more times than I care to remember. In my line of work, we're always in and out of the fire, if you know what I mean. I don't think so. You really think I'd let you just waltz onto my ship and I'd hand her over? If you knew anything about me, you'd know honesty isn't my strong suit. The only truth here is that I've intended to kill you since the moment you set foot on my ship. Your ship, of course. I'd hate to risk damaging something I could easily sell. Plus, this way I can simply climb aboard to see if there's anything of value, rather than have to sift through debris. Any access cards I need, I can just take off your dead body. I'm pretty sure I've already made up my mind. True. I'd hate to misjudge. Okay. Fine. You've compelled me to hold up my end of the deal after all. You get Ember, I'll disappear. Besides, I like to think of this as just a temporary arrangement. She's always found her way back to me before. Why should this time be any different? I already gave you Ember, and the truth is, you don't. Something you may want to keep in mind next time you make a deal with a total stranger. Oh, don't worry. I see this as some well-needed, dare I say, deserved time off. I'm looking forward to the fresh start. I guess Simon chose wisely. For once. Now get off my ship. I've got an identity to arrange and a vacation to plan.
Look who survived the devil herself. Well, either that or you decided to pay up. Well, with an attitude like that, I take it the job's done. Wait a minute. You spoke to that lie-weaving terramorph? You should have just outright killed her. Of course. I don't believe Malai ever knew how to tell the truth. For all I know, that's not even her name. What I told you was the truth. The woman wanted me dead. Blackmail. You think someone like her could blackmail someone like me? We're ghosts. We're nobodies. We have enough dirt on one another to bury Sidonia herself. If I were a politician or corporate executive, maybe I'd believe her. But she's a liar. You've done this galaxy a favor. To business. You got the gun. I haven't given it much thought. The truth is, I never thought I'd see it. The only thing I know for sure is that I'm sure as hell not going to use it. Just allow an old man a moment. It's strange. I always imagined I'd be happy knowing she's gone. Perhaps I've been running so long now that it will just take time for the relief to set in. You know, why don't you keep that gun of hers? I think it's time I left the past behind. Let's hope you're right. Now, back to business. The information I have is on a deal for something called Project Dominion. I'm giving you 2. They contain surveillance and interaction data for Stanley McMillan, the Infinity rep, that I obtained myself. I'm also giving you a 3rd slate because you're going to need to download the files on Project Dominion off his computer yourself. Best guess is it has something to do with Infinity getting into the neuroamp business. Stanley McMillan seemed to think Ryujin would be the one company threatened by this news, so their entry must involve something big. Getting information is what you people do. I'm just a lowly yet very well paid informant, here to point you in the right direction. Nice doing business with you.
Short stick at work or what? Infinity sent me to get Deimos to bite on a deal. It's even got a catchy code name. Project Dominion.
Sounds like world domination to me, buddy. I'd buy into that in a heartbeat.
Right? I'm telling you, this Project Dominion is the real deal. We ought to be selling this to Inception or Quantum.
Hell. You should be in the Astro Lounge making Ryujin Industries beg for that tech.
Ha! That'd be the greatest irony of them all, but not this baby. Dominion is finally gonna put Infinity first. We'll beat Ryujin at their own game.
trouble.
Well, that took longer than expected. I hope whatever information Simon had was worth it. Project Dominion? That can't be right. Give me a moment to run a decryption. Let's see. Got the key, deciphering, and done. Well, well, well. Looks like our friend Simon wasn't joking. Project Dominion isn't an Infinity LTD prototype. It's one of ours. They didn't even bother to scrub the name. Meaning someone never thought they'd get caught. And come with me. Masako needs to hear about this.
Keep out of my way, and I'll keep out of yours.
Hey,
Ularu? What is this about? Who is this?
This is our latest junior operative. I sent her on an assignment to rendezvous with an informant. But here's the real news. Infinity LTD has gotten their hands on Project Dominion.
Impossible.
Not only that, they're trying to sell it under their own name.
Of course they are. We need fines to investigate this immediately. Since you found this information, I am trusting you to help investigate. You see, Project Dominion is confidential. It requires a high security clearance to even know it exists. If Infinity LTD has obtained any information on it, that means we have a very well-connected mole within our corporation. I suppose, since we're trusting you in this investigation, I can give you some details. Project Dominion is our latest advancement in neuroamp technology. Our current neuroamps are all external devices, but Project Dominion would be the first surgically implanted internal neuroamp on the market. The project itself was nearing completion, which is why exposing the mole is of utmost importance. We can't allow any more research to fall into their hands. Because you exposed this information, I have little reason to suspect you. That won't mean you'll be exempt from investigation, of course. I want you to go see Dalton Fines, our Chief Security Officer. I'll send him the details. You've brought an enormous security violation to our attention, so I trust your help in any way possible. And thank you. Some operatives may have seized this as an opportunity for extortion. It's good to know your loyalty lies with us.
Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find